The rain falls softly, a gentle curtain against the fading light of dusk. Each drop kisses the stones of the garden path with quiet persistence. A faint mist rises from the damp earth, blurring the edges of distant trees. The air smells clean and cool, carrying the scent of wet leaves and blooming jasmine. Time seems to slow down, measured only by the steady rhythm of the rainfall. Shadows lengthen across the lawn, deepening into shades of gray and lavender. A single firefly begins its dance, a tiny spark in the gathering twilight. The sound of water trickling is almost hypnotic, a lullaby for the garden. Small puddles gather on the path, reflecting the muted colors above. Everything feels still and peaceful, wrapped in the embrace of the rain. The air grows cooler now, a gentle dampness settling on the leaves of the rose bushes. A faint scent of wet earth rises, mingling with the lingering fragrance of evening blossoms. Higher above, the clouds drift slowly, their edges softening into indistinct shapes against the darkening sky. The firefly's light pulses gently, a quiet rhythm in the stillness of the garden. Each droplet clinging to a blade of grass seems to hold a tiny reflection of the fading light. A distant owl calls softly, its sound barely audible above the gentle trickle of water. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching out into an endless expanse of peace. The lavender shadows deepen still, blending seamlessly with the gray hues of twilight. Small snails emerge from beneath sheltering leaves, leaving glistening trails on the damp stones. A sense of quiet contentment settles over everything, a feeling of being perfectly held. The air grows cooler now, a gentle breath against the skin. A few fireflies begin to blink, their tiny lights appearing and disappearing with languid grace. The trickle of water continues its steady rhythm, a constant lullaby in the deepening dusk. Long shadows from the ancient trees stretch across the mossy ground, soft and indistinct. The scent of damp earth rises, mingling with the faint sweetness of night-blooming jasmine. A single star appears high above, a quiet beacon in the vastness of the sky. The lavender shadows deepen further still, almost indistinguishable from the twilight gray. Tiny droplets of dew gather on the petals of wildflowers, shimmering softly. The world seems to breathe slower now, each inhale and exhale a long, peaceful sigh. A feeling of profound stillness settles over the landscape, a quiet invitation to rest. The single star seems to pulse with a gentle inner light, barely noticeable, but always present. A soft breeze whispers through the tall grasses, carrying the scent of damp earth and fading blossoms. The lavender shadows now stretch long and languid across the meadow, blurring the edges of everything they touch. Distant hills are veiled in a hazy blue-gray, their forms softened by the deepening twilight. A lone owl calls softly from somewhere beyond the trees, a low, comforting murmur. The droplets of dew on the wildflowers grow heavier, clinging to the petals like tiny jewels. Time seems to slow even further, each moment expanding into an eternity of quiet peace. The air grows cooler now, a gentle chill that settles softly against the skin. A faint silvery glow begins to emerge from the eastern horizon, hinting at the approaching moon. Everything is bathed in a soft, muted light, perfect for dreaming and letting go. The scent of damp earth rises, mingling with the sweet fragrance of the wildflowers. A lone cricket begins its evening song, a quiet pulse in the stillness. The silvery glow strengthens just a little, painting the grasses with a pale luminescence. Long shadows stretch across the meadow, deepening the sense of tranquility. Tiny moths flutter lazily amongst the blooms, drawn to the faint light. A gentle breeze whispers through the tall stalks, barely stirring them. The coolness deepens slightly, inviting a deeper settling into comfort. Above, the first stars begin to prick the darkening sky with their distant light. Each breath feels slow and easy, mirroring the rhythm of the world around you. A sense of complete stillness settles over everything, a quiet invitation to rest. The field stretches out, a soft expanse of muted greens and golds under the fading light. A lone owl calls softly in the distance, its sound blending seamlessly with the stillness. The air carries the faintest scent of damp earth and ripening grasses. Higher now, more stars appear, tiny pinpricks against a deepening indigo canvas. Shadows lengthen across the field, blurring the edges of the tall stalks into gentle curves. A feeling of quiet contentment settles deep within, like sinking into warm sand. The breeze continues its slow dance, barely perceptible on your skin. Time seems to soften and stretch, losing all sense of urgency. The darkness grows richer, a comforting blanket enveloping the world below. A gentle hum vibrates through the ground, perhaps from unseen creatures settling in for the night. The distant hum deepens slightly, a resonant thrumming that seems to emanate from the very earth itself. Above, the stars begin to appear, tiny pinpricks of light against the deepening indigo canvas. A faint scent drifts on the breeze, something earthy and sweet, like damp moss and ripening berries. The shadows lengthen across the landscape, blurring the edges of familiar shapes into soft silhouettes. The air grows cooler now, a gentle chill that invites stillness and quietude. Somewhere far away, an owl calls softly, its voice a low, mournful echo in the vastness. The darkness continues to deepen, absorbing all but the faintest glimmer of light. A sense of profound peace settles over everything, a tranquil hush that stills the mind. The breeze whispers through tall grasses, creating a rustling sound like secrets being shared. Even the ground beneath feels softer now, yielding slightly to an unseen weight. The moon, a gentle pearl in the darkening sky, casts an even softer glow upon the landscape. A distant stream murmurs quietly, its water flowing with a slow, deliberate grace. The air grows cooler now, carrying the scent of damp earth and quiet blossoms. Shadows lengthen and blend together, blurring the edges of familiar shapes. Tiny stars begin to appear, scattered like diamonds across a velvet cloth. A lone firefly drifts by, its light a fleeting spark in the stillness. The rustling grasses continue their gentle dance, swaying rhythmically with the breeze. Time seems to slow even further, stretching out into an endless expanse of calm. A feeling of quiet contentment settles deep within, like sinking into warm sand. Everything is bathed in a soft, muted light, inviting rest and peaceful slumber. The air grows subtly cooler, a gentle shift against the skin. Shadows lengthen slowly beneath the ancient trees, deepening the quiet hues of twilight. A distant owl calls softly, its sound absorbed by the stillness around it. The scent of damp earth rises gently, mingling with the faint fragrance of night-blooming jasmine. Stars begin to appear, tiny pinpricks of light in the darkening sky above. The breeze whispers through the leaves, a soft sigh carried on the air. A sense of profound peace settles over the landscape, embracing everything within its reach. The firefly's spark fades into the deepening blue, another moment passed without notice. The grasses continue their slow undulation, a silent ballet under the watchful stars. Dots drift away like wisps of smoke, dissolving into the quiet vastness. The moon, a gentle pearl in the darkening sky, casts its light upon the sleeping fields. A distant owl calls softly, a low and comforting murmur lost within the stillness. The scent of damp earth rises gently, mingling with the faint sweetness of night-blooming jasmine. Shadows lengthen and deepen, blurring the edges of familiar shapes into soft obscurity. Each star seems to pulse with its own quiet light, a steady rhythm in the grand expanse above. The air grows cooler now, a gentle embrace against skin warmed by the day's sun. A lone cricket chirps intermittently, a tiny song carried on the tranquil breeze. Time flows onward, measured only by the slow shifting of constellations across the heavens. The dew begins to gather upon the blades of grass, shimmering faintly in the moonlight. Everything rests now, held within the quiet comfort of the approaching night. The moonlight deepens, softening the edges of the world with a silvery glow. A distant owl calls softly, its voice blending seamlessly into the stillness. The scent of damp earth rises gently, mingling with the fading fragrance of wildflowers. Shadows lengthen and deepen beneath the ancient trees, pooling like quiet secrets. Each blade of grass now wears a tiny crown of glistening dewdrop jewels. A gentle breeze whispers through the tall grasses, creating a soft rustling sound. The stars above seem to grow brighter, with each passing moment countless and serene. Time continues its slow, steady journey onward, an endless river flowing by. The air feels heavier now, filled with the peaceful weight of slumber. A sense of profound tranquility settles over everything, a quiet invitation to rest. The moon, a gentle pearl in the darkening sky, casts a soft glow upon the swaying grasses. A distant owl calls out, its hooting a low and comforting murmur carried on the breeze. Shadows lengthen slowly across the meadow, deepening the sense of stillness that surrounds you. The scent of damp earth rises gently, mingling with the sweet fragrance of night-blooming flowers. Each star seems to pulse with its own quiet light, a tiny beacon in the vastness above. A feeling of warmth settles deep within, easing away any lingering tension or worry. The rustling grasses continue their gentle dance, a rhythmic lullaby for the world. Time drifts by unnoticed, like a feather floating on a quiet current. The air grows even softer now, embracing you in its peaceful embrace. A deep sense of contentment settles over your being, inviting complete relaxation. The light filtering through the leaves has deepened to a soft amber, painting long shadows across the meadow. A distant owl calls softly, its voice blending seamlessly with the evening stillness. The scent of damp earth and blooming clover drifts on the gentle breeze. Each breath you take feels deeper now, expanding gently within your chest. Tiny fireflies begin to blink into existence, their lights like scattered stars fall into earth. The grasses sway with an even slower rhythm, almost imperceptible in their quiet movement. A sense of timelessness washes over you, blurring the edges of yesterday and tomorrow. The world outside seems distant, muted, as if viewed through a veil of soft moonlight. Your eyelids grow heavy, each blink bringing you closer to a state of peaceful surrender. A quiet hum resonates within everything: the earth, the air, and your very being. The moonlight deepens, casting long, gentle shadows that stretch and soften across the meadow. A faint coolness settles upon your skin, a comforting embrace against the stillness of the night. High above, unseen stars glimmer with a patient constancy, their light barely touching the earth below. The quiet hum deepens slightly, vibrating gently within your chest like a peaceful sigh. Time seems to dissolve further, becoming less a measure and more a feeling of gentle presence. A distant owl calls softly, its sound absorbed by the vastness of the night without urgency or echo. The grasses release a subtle fragrance, a blend of dew and earth, carried on the still air. Your breath slows even further, mirroring the languid rhythm of the swaying meadow grass. A sense of complete safety settles around you, a quiet knowing that all is well and at peace. The veil of moonlight thickens just slightly, blurring the world into an even softer dreamscape. The moonlight, now a gentle wash across the meadow, seems to deepen the shadows beneath the tall wildflowers. A few fireflies begin their slow dance, tiny sparks of light appearing and fading with quiet grace. The air grows just a touch cooler, a comforting coolness against your skin as you settle deeper into stillness. Time feels distant now, measured only by the gradual shift in the moon's position above. A single cricket chirps softly nearby, its sound blending seamlessly with the quiet hum of the night. The scent of damp earth strengthens slightly, a grounding aroma that anchors you to this peaceful place. Clouds drift lazily across the sky, their shapes indistinct and ever-changing in the soft light. A gentle breeze whispers through the grasses, barely perceptible but carrying with it the scent of distant pine. The world outside fades further away, becoming less defined as your awareness narrows to this moment. Your eyelids grow heavy, each breath a quiet invitation to drift even deeper into slumber. The light continues to soften, deepening the shadows beneath the trees without ever becoming dark. A robin settles quietly on a branch nearby, its presence more felt than heard. Time seems to slow further still, each moment stretching into an endless expanse of calm. The grasses sway with an almost imperceptible rhythm, like waves upon a tranquil sea. Warmth radiates gently from the earth beneath you, a comforting embrace. A distant stream murmurs softly, its sound blending seamlessly with the quietness around. The clouds above shift and reform, resembling soft, billowing blankets of gray and white. Your body feels heavy, pleasantly weighted down by relaxation. The air grows stiller now, holding the scent of damp earth and distant pine in perfect balance. A sense of complete stillness settles over everything, a profound quietude that invites rest. The gray and white clouds continue their slow dance across the sky, deepening in shade as twilight approaches. A gentle coolness settles upon your skin, a comforting embrace against the fading warmth of the day. The murmuring stream seems to breathe with the land itself. In ancient rhythm and long shadows stretch out from the trees bordering the meadow, blurring the edges of everything they touch. Tiny stars begin to prick through the darkening sky, faint glimmers in the vastness above. The scent of damp earth deepens slightly, mingling with a subtle sweetness carried on the still air. A feeling of quiet contentment settles within you, like sinking deeper into a soft cushion. Time seems to slow even further now, each moment unfolding with gentle grace. The distant pines stand sentinel against the darkening horizon, their silhouettes softened by the twilight haze. Everything is bathed in a muted light, a tranquil stillness that encourages peaceful slumber. The air grows a touch cooler against your skin, a gentle embrace of the evening. A lone firefly begins its slow dance in the meadow beyond the pines, a tiny spark of light. Shadows lengthen and deepen beneath the trees, blurring the edges of familiar shapes. The scent of damp earth now holds a whisper of moss and fallen leaves, a quiet fragrance. A soft breeze barely stirs the branches overhead, creating a rustling sigh so faint it's almost imperceptible. The muted light continues to soften, painting everything in shades of lavender and gray. Stars begin to prick through the darkening sky, distant diamonds scattered across velvet. A sense of profound stillness settles over the land, a quietude that invites rest. The world outside seems to breathe deeply, slowing its rhythm to match your own. You feel yourself drifting further inward, cocooned in a gentle warmth and peace. The lavender light deepens, subtly shifting towards a soft indigo at the horizon. A gentle breeze whispers through tall grasses, carrying the scent of damp earth and fading wildflowers. Each star seems to glow with its own quiet luminescence, unwavering in the deepening twilight. Time stretches out, becoming less defined as moments blend seamlessly into one another. The distant hills are now barely visible, veiled in a soft, hazy obscurity. A lone owl calls softly from somewhere beyond the trees, a low and comforting sound. Your breath flows easily, mirroring the slow, steady rhythm of the world around you. The warmth enveloping you feels like a gentle embrace, easing away any lingering tension. Shadows lengthen and soften, blurring the edges of familiar shapes into peaceful obscurity. A sense of complete safety settles within, but quiet knowing that all is well. The air grows a little cooler now, a subtle shift against your skin that is neither unpleasant nor remarkable. Dust motes dance lazily in the fading light, filtering through the window pane, swirling patterns of quiet stillness. A distant stream murmurs softly, its gentle flow a constant and unchanging presence. The scent of dried herbs drifts from somewhere nearby, a comforting fragrance that settles deep within your senses. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching out like warm honey. The darkness beyond the window deepens gradually, swallowing the last vestiges of twilight. A faint breeze rustles the leaves on the trees outside, creating a whisper-soft melody. Your eyelids feel heavy, weighted with a pleasant drowsiness that invites you to rest. Thoughts drift away like clouds across a vast and tranquil sky, losing their form and substance. The feeling of being held, supported, remains constant and reassuring. The gentle warmth of the blanket settles deeper around you, a comforting embrace against the cool night air. A distant owl calls softly, its hoot echoing faintly through the stillness of the surrounding woods. The shadows lengthen across the room, blurring the edges of familiar objects into soft shapes. Each breath you take is slow and deep, expanding your chest with a quiet rhythm. The moonlight filters gently through the curtains, casting a pale silver glow upon the floor. Time seems to soften at the edges, losing its sharp definition as moments blend together seamlessly. A sense of peaceful contentment washes over you, easing any lingering tension from the day. The scent of lavender lingers faintly in the air, a calming fragrance that invites tranquility. Your muscles relax further with each passing moment, releasing their hold and sinking into comfortable ease. The world outside fades into a quiet hum, a distant backdrop to your deepening rest. The gentle light filtering through the window has deepened to a soft, dusky rose. A quiet stillness settles over everything, like a blanket of warm air. You notice the subtle shift in temperature as the evening grows longer. Dust motes dance lazily in the fading light beams, suspended and serene. The distant sound of crickets chirping provides a steady, rhythmic pulse. A feeling of weightlessness begins to permeate your limbs, a gentle surrender. Thoughts drift by like clouds across a vast blue sky, slow and unhurried. The fabric beneath you feels incredibly soft against your skin, comforting and familiar. Time seems to stretch out, each moment expanding with quiet grace. A sense of belonging settles deep within, a feeling of peaceful homecoming. The air around you hums with a quiet stillness, barely perceptible but undeniably present. A faint warmth radiates from the walls, like sunlight absorbed and slowly released. Dust motes dance in the soft light filtering through unseen windows, swirling patterns of gold. The scent of dried lavender lingers gently, a subtle fragrance carried on the quiet air. Shadows lengthen imperceptibly as the evening deepens, softening the edges of everything around you. A distant chime, perhaps from a faraway clock tower, resonates with a mellow tone. Your breath flows in and out with an easy rhythm, mirroring the gentle rise and fall of your chest. The world outside fades into a muted hush, sounds dissolving into a peaceful quietude. A sense of profound calm settles over you, like dew upon a field of wildflowers. Each exhalation carries away any lingering tension, leaving only a feeling of serene release. The chime's echo softens, becoming a mere whisper against the stillness of the air. A gentle warmth spreads through your limbs, like sunlight filtering through sheer curtains. Dust motes drift lazily in the faint light, suspended in an endless quiet dance. The scent of dried lavender lingers faintly, a comforting and familiar presence. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching into a tranquil expanse. A soft gray light begins to deepen, painting the room in shades of twilight. Your eyelids feel heavy, weighted with a pleasant drowsiness. The distant sounds of the world outside are now barely perceptible, like dreams fading at dawn. A quiet contentment settles deep within you, a feeling of complete and utter peace. The rhythm of your breathing continues, steady and unwavering, a gentle lullaby. The gray light softens further, blurring the edges of familiar shapes in the room. A gentle coolness drifts through the air, a quiet embrace against your skin. Dust motes dance lazily in the fading illumination, suspended like tiny stars. The weight on your eyelids deepens, a comforting pressure that invites stillness. Time seems to slow, each moment stretching into an endless expanse of calm. A faint scent of lavender lingers, carried on the still air from somewhere nearby. Your muscles relax further, releasing any lingering tension with quiet grace. The world outside continues its slumber, a hushed symphony of nighttime sounds. Thoughts drift away like clouds across a vast and tranquil sky. A sense of belonging settles over you, a feeling of being perfectly held. The lavender scent deepens just a little, mingling with the cool night air. A single star begins to glimmer faintly in the darkening expanse above. The gentle hush of the world outside seems to soften even further now. Time stretches out, becoming less defined, more like a quiet pool of stillness. Shadows lengthen slowly across the room, deepening into shades of gray and blue. A distant owl calls softly, its sound absorbed by the peaceful night. The feeling of being held grows warmer, a comforting embrace without pressure. Your breath flows easily, a gentle rhythm mirroring the quietness around you. The moonlight filters through the window pane in soft, diffused patterns. A sense of complete ease settles over your mind, like dew on a summer morning. The moonlight shifts slightly, deepening the shadows in the corners of the room. A gentle warmth radiates from beneath a soft blanket, like sunshine on smooth stones. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching into an endless expanse of quietude. Dust motes dance lazily in the moonbeams, suspended in a silent ballet. The air is still and cool against your skin, carrying the faintest scent of lavender. A distant cricket chirps intermittently, its song a lullaby to the sleeping world. Thoughts drift by like clouds across the sky, without form or urgency. Your eyelids grow heavy, weighted with a pleasant drowsiness. The feeling of being held expands outwards, encompassing every part of you. A deep sense of belonging settles in your heart, quiet and unwavering. The cricket's song fades slightly, then returns with a gentler cadence. A soft breeze whispers through the leaves of nearby trees, barely stirring them. The light filtering through your eyelids shifts from a pale gold to a deeper rose hue. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching into an endless expanse of calm. A warmth spreads gently across your chest, like sunlight on smooth stones. The feeling of belonging deepens, intertwining with the quiet rhythm of your breath. Shadows lengthen imperceptibly as the world outside continues its slow descent into night. Your body feels heavy and grounded, perfectly still within this peaceful embrace. A sense of complete safety washes over you, a silent promise of rest and renewal. The distant sounds of the evening blend together, a quiet hum, a rustle, a sigh, all contributing to the stillness. The air grows subtly cooler against your skin, a gentle shift you barely notice. A soft gray light filters through the window pane, softening all edges. Dust motes dance lazily in the fading illumination, suspended and still. The scent of old wood and quiet comfort fills the room, familiar and reassuring. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching into a tranquil expanse. A distant owl calls softly, its sound absorbed by the deepening twilight. Your eyelids feel heavy, weighted with a pleasant drowsiness. The gentle pressure of blankets offers a comforting enclosure. Thoughts drift away like clouds across a vast, calm sky. A feeling of quiet contentment settles deep within your bones. The air grows cooler now, a gentle hush settling over everything. A faint scent of damp earth and distant pine drifts in on the breeze. Shadows lengthen slowly across the room, softening all edges. The moonlight filtering through the window appears almost liquid, pale and serene. Each breath you take feels deeper, more relaxed than the last. A quiet stillness embraces your body, a comfortable weightlessness. Time seems to slow further, stretching out into an endless expanse of peace. The soft fabric against your skin is a constant, gentle reassurance. Distant crickets chirp their lullaby, a rhythmic pulse in the darkness. A sense of belonging settles over you, a feeling of being perfectly held. The air grows subtly cooler, a gentle shift against your skin. A faint scent of damp earth and blooming night flowers drifts in the stillness. Shadows lengthen imperceptibly, softening the edges of everything around you. The rhythmic chirping of crickets continues, unwavering and soothing. Stars begin to appear, tiny pinpricks of light against a deepening blue canvas. A quiet breeze whispers through unseen leaves, barely stirring the air. Your breath flows easily, a slow and steady rhythm mirroring the night's pulse. The weightlessness deepens, cradling you in its gentle embrace. Thoughts drift away like wisps of smoke, dissolving into the peaceful darkness. A sense of quiet contentment settles over your being, warm and comforting. The darkness softens, deepening into a velvety blue around the edges of your awareness. A distant owl calls, its hoot a low and resonant hum that fades as quickly as it arrives. The air grows subtly cooler against your skin, a gentle shift in temperature like sinking deeper into warm blankets. Tiny motes of dust dance lazily in the faint moonlight, filtering through an unseen window. Time seems to slow further, each moment stretching out long and languid before dissolving completely. A quiet stillness settles over everything, a profound sense of peace radiating outwards. The feeling of weightlessness expands, encompassing every part of you with its soothing presence. Shadows lengthen imperceptibly, blurring the boundaries between things in a soft, indistinct way. A faint scent of damp earth and blooming night flowers drifts on the breeze, barely noticeable but undeniably present. Your body relaxes even further, releasing any remaining tension into the quiet embrace of sleep. The moon, a gentle pearl in the darkening sky, casts a soft glow upon the sleeping fields. A distant owl calls out, its hooting a low and comforting murmur carried on the still air. Tiny fireflies begin to blink into existence, their lights like scattered stars fall into earth. The grass beneath you feels cool and damp against your skin, a gentle grounding sensation. Time seems to slow even further, each moment stretching out long and languid. A quiet rustling in the nearby trees suggests the movement of unseen creatures, settling down for the night. The scent of night flowers deepens slightly, mingling with the earthy fragrance of the soil. Above, a few wisps of clouds drift lazily across the moonlit expanse. A sense of belonging settles over you, a feeling of being held and protected by the stillness. Your breath grows deeper and more even, mirroring the rhythm of the sleeping world around you. The moonlight softens, bathing the landscape in a gentle silver glow. A distant owl calls softly, its sound fading into the quiet air. Tiny fireflies begin to blink on and off, like scattered stars fallen to earth. The leaves of the trees sway almost imperceptibly in a barely their breeze. The soil beneath feels cool and damp against whatever rests upon it. A sense of timelessness settles around you, as if moments are simply blending together. The night flowers release their fragrance even more fully now, a sweet and calming balm. Shadows lengthen slowly, stretching across the meadow like quiet rivers. The clouds continue to drift, rearranging themselves into ever-shifting shapes. A profound stillness embraces everything, a comforting blanket of peace. The air grows subtly cooler, a gentle touch against your skin. A distant owl calls softly, its sound fading into the stillness. The meadow grasses sway almost imperceptibly in the night breeze. Tiny fireflies begin to blink on and off, like scattered stars fallen low. The moon hangs high above, a pale disk radiating gentle light. A quiet rustling comes from within the nearby woods, perhaps just leaves shifting. The fragrance of the night flowers deepens, mingling with the scent of damp earth. Time seems to slow even further, each breath a long and peaceful sigh. The shadows lengthen still more, blurring the edges of familiar shapes. A sense of complete tranquility settles over you, soft and enveloping. The moon, a gentle pearl in the darkening sky, casts a soft glow upon the meadow. A distant owl calls, its hooting a low and comforting murmur carried on the breeze. Tiny fireflies begin to blink into existence, their lights like scattered stars fall into earth. The grasses sway with an almost imperceptible rhythm, responding to a breath of air you can barely feel. A cool dew settles upon the petals of the night flowers, making them shimmer faintly. The scent of damp earth deepens further, grounding you in this quiet place. Above, the stars appear one by one, slowly filling the vastness of the night sky. The air grows stiller, holding its breath as if listening to a secret. A sense of timelessness washes over everything, blurring the boundaries between moments. You feel yourself sinking deeper into the comfort of stillness, letting go with each exhale. The faint silvery light of the emerging moon begins to soften the edges of the trees. A gentle coolness settles upon your skin, a comforting embrace against the night air. Distant crickets chirp with a quiet regularity, their song a lullaby woven into the stillness. Shadows lengthen and deepen, pooling softly beneath the branches like dark velvet. The scent of damp earth mingles now with the subtle fragrance of pine needles. Time seems to slow further, each breath an eternity in its own gentle way. A feeling of quiet contentment settles within you, a peaceful weightlessness. High above, the constellations drift slowly across the dark expanse. The world outside fades into a soft blur, indistinct and far away. You notice the subtle shift in your body as it relaxes even further into the earth. The faintest scent of damp earth and distant pine needles drifts in on the still air. A single soft moth circles gently near the window pane, drawn to a forgotten glimmer of light. The shadows deepen now, pooling softly beneath you like quiet water. Each star above seems to pulse with its own ancient rhythm, barely perceptible but ever present. You feel the gentle pressure of the blankets against your skin, a comforting embrace. Time continues to soften at the edges, losing all sense of urgency or direction. The distant hooting of an owl echoes softly through the night, a solitary and peaceful sound. A subtle coolness settles upon your face, a gentle reminder of the quiet stillness outside. Your eyelids grow heavy, each blink a deeper descent into tranquility. The world beyond fades further still, becoming nothing more than a memory held in soft focus. The moonlight filtered through the leaves outside paints gentle patterns on the ceiling above. A faint scent of damp earth and blooming night flowers drifts in with the cool air. Each breath you take feels deeper now, a slow expansion and release within your chest. The shadows lengthen imperceptibly, stretching across the room like quiet rivers. Tiny dust motes dance lazily in the moonbeams, suspended in an endless peaceful drift. A distant cricket chirps its solitary song, a tiny pulse in the vast stillness. Your limbs feel heavy and relaxed, sinking comfortably into whatever supports them. The weight of the day dissolves completely, leaving only a sense of quiet contentment. Time seems to flow like honey, thick, slow, and utterly without concern. A gentle warmth settles deep within you, radiating outwards with each exhale. The warmth deep within you expands, a gentle ember glowing softly against your skin. Dust motes drift lazily in the fading light, filtering through a nearby window pane. A faint scent of lavender lingers in the air, carried on a breath of stillness. The cricket song continues, unwavering and peaceful, a tiny anchor in the quietude. Your eyelids feel heavy, like soft curtains drawn against the world outside. Shadows lengthen slowly across the room, deepening the sense of tranquility. A distant owl calls softly, its voice blending seamlessly with the night's embrace. The feeling of contentment deepens, a quiet pool reflecting the stillness around you. Each breath is slow and measured, a gentle rhythm guiding you further inward. The world outside fades into a soft blur, unimportant and far away. The moonlight, pale and gentle, filters through the curtains, painting silver patterns on the floor. A faint scent of lavender drifts from a nearby sachet, a subtle comfort in the quiet air. Time seems to soften at the edges, losing its sharp definition as moments blend together. The weight of your blankets is comforting, a gentle pressure holding you securely within their warmth. Dust motes dance lazily in the moonbeams, tiny galaxies swirling in silent motion. A low hum resonates from somewhere deep within the walls, an almost imperceptible vibration. Dots drift by like clouds across a vast sky, without form or urgency. The darkness outside is not empty, but filled with the quiet presence of sleeping things. Your eyelids grow heavy, each blink a journey further into peaceful slumber. A sense of belonging settles over you, a feeling of being perfectly held and safe. The low hum seems to deepen slightly, a gentle pulse against the stillness. Dust motes drift in the faint light, filtering through the window pane, suspended like tiny stars. A coolness settles on your skin, a comforting embrace of quiet night air. Time stretches out, losing all definition as moments blend seamlessly into one another. The scent of old wood and dried herbs lingers softly in the room's atmosphere. Shadows lengthen and soften, blurring the edges of familiar shapes. A distant owl calls, a single drawn-out note swallowed by the darkness. Your breath slows, deepening with each exhale, mirroring the rhythm of the house itself. The feeling of being held expands, encompassing every part of you in gentle warmth. Thoughts continue to drift, now even more distant and indistinct, like whispers on the wind. The moonlight filtered through the curtains paints a pale silver wash across the room. A gentle hum resonates from somewhere deep within the walls, perhaps the old pipes settling in for the night. Dust motes dance lazily in the moonbeams, suspended in stillness like tiny stars. The air grows cooler now, a comforting coolness against your skin. Outside, the rustling of leaves is reduced to a barely perceptible sigh. Time seems to stretch and thin, losing its sharp edges as it drifts by. A sense of quiet contentment settles over everything, a peaceful stillness. The weight of blankets feels reassuringly soft, cradling you gently. Faint scents of lavender and old wood mingle in the air, familiar and soothing. Even the shadows seem to breathe slowly, expanding and contracting with your own relaxed rhythm. The light filtering through the window has deepened to a gentle amber, softening all it touches. A distant owl calls softly, its sound barely more than a whisper carried on the still air. Dust motes dance lazily in the golden beams, suspended like tiny stars in a quiet galaxy. The floorboards beneath you sigh with the slow settling of the old house, a comforting creak. A gentle warmth radiates from the blankets, holding you close and secure. Thoughts drift by like clouds, shapeless, fleeting, and easily released. The air grows cooler now, a subtle shift that invites deeper relaxation. Outside, the leaves rustle with an almost imperceptible sigh as a breeze passes through. Each breath you take feels long and smooth, expanding your chest with quiet ease. A sense of timelessness descends, blurring the boundaries between waking and dreaming. The gentle light filtering through the window softens, deepening into a quiet twilight hue. A distant owl calls softly, its sound absorbed by the stillness of the evening air. Your eyelids grow heavy, each blink a slow descent further inward. The weight of your body feels pleasantly grounded against whatever supports you. Time seems to stretch and thin, losing all sense of urgency or direction. A faint scent of lavender lingers, carried on the cool air currents. Shadows lengthen gradually across the room, deepening the quiet corners. The rhythm of your heartbeat slows, a steady pulse in the stillness. Thoughts continue to drift, like petals falling gently from a flower. A comfortable warmth settles deep within you, easing away any lingering tension. The lavender scent softens further, blending with the quiet fragrance of old books. Dust motes dance lazily in the fading light, filtering through the window pane. A gentle sigh escapes your lips, a release into the deepening calm. The world outside grows quieter still, muffled by layers of soft darkness. Time seems to stretch and thin, losing all sense of urgency. Your eyelids grow heavy, weighted with peaceful contentment. The floorboards beneath you remain perfectly still, unwavering in their support. A distant owl calls softly, a low hum resonating through the night air. Each breath you take is slow and deep, drawing comfort into your being. The shadows deepen further, embracing the room in a gentle velvety hush. The moonlight filtering through the window softens, painting silver patterns on the wall. A gentle warmth settles upon your skin, a comforting embrace against the cool night air. Dust motes dance lazily in the pale light, suspended in an eternal quiet waltz. The ticking of a distant clock fades into an almost imperceptible rhythm, blending with the stillness. A faint scent of lavender drifts from somewhere nearby, a subtle and soothing fragrance. The weight of your blankets feels like a gentle hug, cradling you in peaceful security. Outside, the leaves rustle softly against the branches, whispering secrets to the night. Time seems to slow further, stretching out into an endless expanse of tranquility. Your thoughts drift away like clouds across a vast blue sky, light and without form. The room breathes with you, expanding and contracting in unison with each quiet breath. A faint silvery moonlight filters through the curtains, painting soft patterns on the floor. The air grows just a little cooler now, a comforting coolness against your skin. Distant crickets chirp their quiet song, a steady pulse in the stillness of the night. Each breath you take seems to deepen the sense of calm that surrounds you. Shadows lengthen and soften as the hours continue to slip by unnoticed. The scent of lavender lingers gently, a subtle fragrance woven into the air. A quiet warmth settles deep within your chest, a feeling of complete ease. The world outside fades further away, becoming just a memory of light and sound. Your eyelids grow heavy, weighted with the peace of the evening. There is only this moment, this stillness, this gentle embrace of sleep.